welcome back to Big Jim Crochet, or if you're new here, welcome. I'm so glad to have you. Today, yes, I'm gonna kind of give you a glimpse into how I prepped for my markets. So my last market that I did was in July. It was my first ever market, and it was a 2-day market. And so since then, I have been prepping for, here she is, this is Nova. I've been prepping for my market that is upcoming in October. It's on October 14th. So actually today I have about, like the day that I'm filming this, I have about 1 month to prepare and just kind of get on track for my market in October. So yeah, I'm gonna kind of show you how I plan for market inventory and what I'm making, what my strategy is, that kind of thing. Oh, and I'm also going to tell you how I keep track of my inventory, like using my Excel sheet that I have and all of that. Before we get started though, I do kind of want to give a little bit of a disclaimer. So as I just said before, my first ever market was in July. So as you can tell, I am very much a beginner vendor, person who sells at markets. I'm very much still learning and still experimenting with how I do things. So basically, just take everything I say with a grain of salt, as you probably should do with any other YouTubers or crocheters who talk about selling at markets, because markets are different for everyone. Everyone is a different crocheter. We all work at different paces and have different levels of commitment to selling at markets. So, you know, I'm just going to tell you about what I like to do. This is what works for me, but of course, you know, do what works for you. Your business is your own, and you know, you don't really want to compete with other people or compare yourself to other people, because your business is your own and it's so much more different than anyone else's. So I guess she's just joining us for the video. I'm pretty sure you can see her in the film. Her name is Nova. We got her in like January or February of this year. Yeah, she's a good kitty. Oh, and I also wanted to say, today I am wearing a sweater that I made on my knitting machine. So I'm not necessarily sure that you can call it a sweater. Also, I don't know if you can see it all the way, but this is it. This is a sweater I made on my knitting machine. I followed a YouTube tutorial by Cass Wong, I believe it is. I'll definitely put that tutorial in the caption below. I have made like 3 of these. This is the most recent one that I made, and the temperatures are finally dropping in my area. It's getting to be really cold in the morning and really cold at night. I am so excited. I never realized how much I love fall and how much I love the colder weather, since summer has been very long and it's been a hot one too here. Anyways, back to the video. Okay, so let's talk about my upcoming market. So my next market is in October. It's on October 14th. So it's a market that's put on by a high school group. It's in their gym or something like that. And so let me tell you kind of why I picked this next market to go to, and also how I'm tailoring my items to the audience that I'm suspecting, at least hoping, are going to be there. Okay, so this market is at a high school. It's put on by like the Boosters group or something like that. No, it is the Boosters group. And it's like the 11th annual market that they do. So they've been doing this market for 11 years, which that was definitely a green flag for me when signing up for it, was that it's pretty well established. People locally in that area can expect that market to happen, which means that, you know, maybe they're more likely to go. Maybe it's a family tradition for them to go or something like that. They know that it's happening. And so yeah, I thought that was a really good sign when I signed up for that market. And I also chose this market because it was going to be at a high school. So I really do think that my perfect audience, like my perfect customer, is me. And I'm a young adult, so I'm kind of grouping all young adults together and saying that young adults and maybe families who have kids, those are my main targets for selling my crochet item. Yeah, so I believe that those are my best sellers, and I really do think that they will be at that market because since it's at a high school and put on by the boosters group, hopefully high school students will come to it, and then families who are involved in the booster group will also come to it. So that gets me students, the young adults, and families. So hopefully this will be a good turnout for me, and that this will be, you know, a good audience for me to reach, and maybe I can do it again next year. We'll see. As I said before, it's my second market. I don't know. Everything is basically just kind of an experiment, and I'm doing the thing that I think would bring the best results. So the market is called something along the lines of a fall festival. So I have planned to have some very fall specific items there, like pumpkins. I've made a couple little ghosts too. I'll show you all of this stuff. But yeah, it is a fall themed festival, so it's important that it was important to me that I had specific fall items so that I would, you know, join in with the theme. And if people are coming there to look for fall specific things, then I can contribute to that as well. So now that you know what I'm making, I definitely want to show you what I'm making, and also everything else that I have in my inventory too. Those are my fall specific items, but I have been making a lot of other things as well, and I have leftover inventory from my first market in July that I'll be using. I'll be using some of it. Some of it is like summer specific. I don't think it would sell well at this market, so I'll be leaving those at home, but then bringing relatively everything else. So let me go ahead and show you what I'm making. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. First, I'm going to show you all of the accessory wearable things that I've been prepping for this market. So beanies and velvet headbands and scrunchies. Those are the three things. Let me show you the beanies. Man, I really love these beanies so much. Okay, so here are some beanies that I've been making. So I made these on my knitting machine, and oh my goodness, they work up in like 25 minutes. I just make 150 rows of a tube on the beanie, on the knitting machine, and then I just like fold it in half and pull up a brim to make the beanie. They are beautiful. Like, I just love these beanies so much, especially the color change too. I'm using Lion Brand Mandala yarn. Anyways, it's like self-striping yarn, but the colors blend into each other so nicely, and they just make beautiful, unique beanies. Every single one of these beanies is different despite having similar colors, and they all like match and go really well together. And since they only work up in 25 minutes, they're way cheaper than my other crochet beanies that I've been making. So I really think that these are going to be a good hit because they're beautiful, practical, because, you know, fall and winter is coming up, and they're going to be relatively cheap too. So yes, I've been making a ton of these beanies. I have about, I have 7 right now. I started making these on Sunday of this last week, so a couple days ago. Yeah, I've made 7 so far. The only reason why I stopped and why I don't have more is because my arm was getting tired from cranking the knitting machine so much. But yeah, these are my knitting machine beanies. I definitely plan to make more for sure. Okay, and let me show you my crochet beanies too. Oh my goodness, I have so many beanies. I really hope these beanies are a hit at the October market. I also have a market in December too, and I know beanies will probably be a bit more useful at that one. But I have made so many beanies. So many beanies. I don't even think I've updated my inventory with how many beanies that I have. Okay, so these are the crochet beanies that I've been making. So these are just ribbed crochet beanies. They are the softest things you will ever feel. Yeah, they're very, very soft. I'm hoping that that is a really good selling point for them because they're so soft. The yarn that I use for these ribbed beanies is burnout Forever Fleece yarn. So I actually had to go to a different Joann's like an hour away from me just to get some of this yarn because I had bought out all of the yarn at my local Joann's and they still hadn't like restocked it. So I really love this yarn. I recommend it so much just because it's so soft. I I'm hoping that these ones are going to sell really well. And also, they're not done yet, but I did just want to show you anyways. They're supposed to have a faux fur pom-pom on top, and I just haven't gotten around to ordering the pom-poms or putting them on, because that's just going to be a whole thing, because it's cheaper for me to buy them in bulk online than to get the individual pom-poms from Joann's. So yeah, that's what I'm going to do, but I need to put in some research about what faux fur pom-pom I want to use, because I don't want to get a cheap one that is, you know, gonna lose all its hair or something like that, or just not look good. So yeah, these ones, all of these still need pom-poms, but I mean, the design isn't going to change that much with or without the pom-pom. And so for the white ones, these ones are a little bit different. These ones I used Burnout Forever Fleece Finer, so it's the skinnier version of the Burnout Forever Fleece. The yarn is way smaller. They took a lot longer than these ones, because this is like weight 4 yarn, and then this is like weight 5 or weight 6, so chunky yarn. These hats only took me about an hour to make, but this one took me 2 hours to make because of just how small the yarn is. I won't be using Burnout Forever Fleece Finer for beanies in the future, and they do have white Burnout Forever Fleece, the regular chunky one like this. I would definitely use that for these white beanies, but my store had the Burnout Forever Fleece on clearance, and so I obviously took it. The Burnout Forever Fleece Finer was on clearance. That's why I have the white ones made out of the Burnout Forever Fleece Finer. But yeah, so because these ones did take me a little bit longer to make, they do have a bit of a higher price point. The material cost for these beanies is pretty high because, you know, it uses a lot of the yarn that comes in a single skein of the Burnout Forever Fleece, but I think it's a price definitely worth paying. I think it'll be fair too, and we'll talk about prices later, right before my market. So yes, I made all of those beanies, and we're still not done with the beanies either. I have another version. First though, I'm going to show you what I've also been making. This is actually my current project that I am working on, is scrunchies. I've been making just these velvet scrunchies. I have pink and then blue. They actually match the velvet headbands that I've been making. I'm just kind of using the leftover yarn from making those velvet headbands to make these scrunchies, and I think they're matching, so that's pretty cool. Or maybe if they really like those colors but don't want to get a headband, they can get a scrunchie with it. So yes, I've been making faux fur scrunchies too. I just got this faux fur from Hobby Lobby. These are made from Burnout velvet yarn, and then faux fur scrunchies too. I only have about 10 scrunchies altogether, but making scrunchies is my current market prep. I like just started making scrunchies. Okay, and then I have been making these velvet twisted headbands. Now, these velvet twisted headbands, these are actually my own pattern that I made. I just released it too. I think that was my last YouTube video. They're called the lemon twist headbands because they use the lemon peel stitch, and they're twisted headbands, as you can see from the middle. But yes, I've been making these. Again, I'm using Burnout velvet yarn for them. They only take me about 45 minutes to make, so it's a relatively, you know, quick and easy market prep make, but also it'll sell for cheaper too, just because it doesn't take as much time or materials. So that's great. The lower price points I feel like are more enticing to customers. It's definitely a fair price, but lower still. I've made headbands in pink, this sparkly green yarn. I believe, yeah, it is from Hobby Lobby. I got it like a year ago. I still had it in my stash, and I was like, hey, let's go ahead and use the rest of it to make headbands. So yep, I made some of those. This like dark blue color too, and also this lavender headband. This one I had to use Burnout baby velvet yarn, which is slightly thinner than just plain Burnout velvet yarn. I used the same pattern, the same like dimensions and all of that, and it came out to be about the same size too, so not that big of a difference. But yeah, I made 24 of these headbands, so I have 6 headbands of each color. Hopefully that's enough, but I'm thinking that these ones will also sell pretty well too. I hope they do anyways, because I can definitely, you know, make a lot more of these in a short amount of time. So that would be really nice if they did sell well. Okay, these are the last beanies that I've made. These ones are adorable. They're bear beanies. Aren't these so cute? And so I knew that I wanted to make some like really cute beanies for the fall market. Well, just like my markets this holiday season in general. And I always saw that people made these bear beanies, but for little babies, which is absolutely adorable. And I thought, you know, honestly, if someone made me a bear beanie, I would wear it because it's so cute. Just like the little details of having the floppy ears on the side, like it's just adorable. Who doesn't want to look like a cozy little baby bear? I made some of these too. I have 6 of each. Yeah, I have 12 all together. So I have 6 white ones and then 6 pink ones too. I did follow a pattern for this one. I'll put it in the description. I will also put in the description of the patterns for my knitting machine beanies, the crochet ribbed beanies, and the scrunchies, because I just kind of follow some random YouTube videos that I found like a year ago and I just kind of memorized the pattern. So yeah, I'll find those videos again and link in the description all of the patterns that I have been working with to make all of this stuff. I think they're all great market prep patterns to follow. So definitely check them out if you are also preparing for your markets this holiday season. Okay, so that is all of the kind of like accessory wearable things that I've been making. Let me go ahead and show you the other box. This one has all of my fall related amigurumi plushies, things like that. So I'm only going to show you the fall related stuff. First off, see if I can get one of every color. So next, I have been making these knitting machine pumpkins. Aren't they adorable? So this is actually my very own YouTube tutorial pattern design. Yeah, these pumpkins are made from the knitting machine, but also partly from crochet. So the body is made on the knitting machine, and then the stem is crochet, just a couple rounds of single crochet, and they make adorable pumpkins. So I have made so many of these. I don't even know. I don't think I've updated my inventory on this, but I make them in the classic orange, and then I have some yellow ones, white ones, and this sage green color, which I did have a poll on my Instagram story about whether or not this is actually a good pumpkin color, if it matches the rest of the pumpkins, because I've been seeing a lot of sage green pumpkin decorations like in Hobby Lobby and Joann's and things like that. So I think it is a popular color, and the majority of you said yes, it was cute and that you would buy it or make one or just have it in your home. So if you want to be able to participate in things like that and kind of help me figure out what I'm making for my next market, definitely follow me on Instagram. I ask you for advice and your opinion all the time because I really do value it. And I know that you are really clever, good crocheter, and I appreciate your ideas and opinions. So yes, knitting machine pumpkins. I've made so many of them. I think these are going to sell really well as like decorations for your house or just like cute little gifts to give to family members for fall. Yeah, they're just adorable. Who doesn't want one of these? So yes, knitting machine pumpkins, that's been my big one. The next thing that I have been making for my fall markets are the Mabel Chickens. The pattern is by Oak and Marlowe. I was obsessed with making these chickens at the end of July, I think it was. I've made so many of them. I think I have about 15, but I need to redo because I haven't added in all the ones that I made with this speckled yarn. But yep, I made a white chicken and then a speckled, a black and white speckled yarn chicken. So yeah, they're adorable. I've made a lot of them. I really hope that they sell well. I think that they are just super cute decorations for fall. And I even have a couple of them around my house, just like the ones that I made mistakes on, where I was like, yeah, it's still cute. Let's still go put it out. Yeah, so I've been making a lot of these. I think I have about 15, maybe 20 of them. And then also I made these little ghosts. So it's a little ghost with a little wispy end right here and its cute little arms. I'll definitely put the pattern for this one in the description as well as the one for the chickens. But yeah, I really like these little ghosts. Now, this might seem like an unpopular opinion. I know the other ghosts are well loved by the crochet community, and I can see the cuteness, but I don't know if you've ever seen the crochet ghosts that are like they're kind of like shaped like a marshmallow or something. Like they're like an upside down U, kind of like the ghost from Pac-Man. That's what I always think of. I'm not a big fan of those ones. They are cute, but personally I just wouldn't put them out. I feel like I like something a little more like ghost-like, and I don't know, a little more like wispy like this. Like, I don't know, I just feel like the other one is a little stumpy for me. It's stump-like, and I just don't see ghosts, the like cute little amigurumi ghosts that way. They are cute, no shame if, you know, you make those or anything like that. They are cute, they're just not for me, so I chose a different little ghost pattern. I only made like 8 of them because I'm not that into ghosts. I would rather sell you chickens and pumpkins. So, but yeah, but I thought someone might want them, and they're really cute. So yeah, I made some little ghosts, and those are all of the fall related things that I made for amigurumi. As you can see, I focused way more on the fall themed accessories and wearable items, not so much fall themed amigurumi stuff. But yes, that is everything that I've been making specifically for my fall themed market in October. Let me show you this really quick. So to keep track of all of my inventory, I actually use an Excel spreadsheet. Well, it's not Excel, it's Google Sheet. I use Google Sheets to have a little spreadsheet that keeps track of how many items I have all together, like in total, how many items I have per like groups of items. So it would tell me like how many pumpkins I have, and also how much money my items total all together and also individually. Using an Excel spreadsheet to keep track of your inventory, I highly recommend it. I've been doing this. I did this for my last market too, and it just gives you a good perspective of what you really have, and you know what the profits are, like how much money you actually could make if you sold everything in your booth, or you know how many items you need to sell to reach a certain price point and all of that. I think it's a really great way, you know, just to help you plan for like, yeah, which items that you need to make more of and other things like that. Yeah, I'll give you like a quick glance at my sheet. Honestly, I could probably do a whole video talking about how I set up my Google Sheet and all of that, which I guess I could do that. If you want a video of me talking about my Google Excel sheet that I have to keep track of my inventory, go ahead and comment down below. Maybe I'll do like a little screen share thing like that. That would be a relatively quick video to make. Okay, so I'm just gonna kind of show you on the screen here. Let me turn my brightness up. Like I said, I'll do a more in-depth video on this. It's gonna take too much time to give you all the details now. Hopefully you can see it on the computer, but as you can see, I have little tables for my market inventory. Each table is like a different category. Like this one here, this yellow one is bags, and then this one is headwear, so like hats, things like that. And then this other one over here, this is like plushies, amigurumi, that kind of thing. So I just list the item, I list how much I'm charging for it, how many of those that I have, and then on the very end it tells me how much money I have basically in that group of plushies. So if I'm selling 5 beanies for $10 each, it tells me that, oh, I have $50 worth of beanies in that group. And then down at the bottom it tells me how much money I have all together from all the items in the table, and then how many items I have all together. Yeah, I have all these tables for my different categories of projects, of things that I make to sell. And then at the very end, I also have a little table that adds together all of the overall totals and all of the overall item counts to tell me exactly how much dollars the products add up to, and also the amount of products that I have all together in all categories. So that's how I set up my Excel sheet. It was a very easy process to do. So basically right now with everything that I've made, I actually think it might be a little bit more than this because I haven't updated it in a while. but I have 181 items total to sell, give or take the ones that I won't be bringing to the market in October, and all of those items are about $3,000. So like all together, those 181 items add up to about $3,000, which would be an absolute miracle if I even sold anything close to that. Actually, I kind of hope that doesn't happen, because then I have like only a month and I have to remake all those items for my market in December. So I want to do good, but I would like to keep some of my inventory. Okay, anyways, yeah, so that's kind of a very, very vague, brief description of how I use Google Sheets to keep track of my markets. Like I said, anyone can learn how to do this and set up your own Google Sheet. All you have to know how to do is use the adding formula and the multiplying formula. That's all you gotta do. Look it up on YouTube. You can figure something out, and I'm sure actually some small businesses sell some kind of inventory tracker for vendors on Etsy or things like that. Yeah, but this is how I like to do it. So yes, I wanted to show you that really quick just to give you a better idea of like the logistics that go behind my planning. So I try not to just like, you know, randomly pick projects that I'm like, oh, today I guess I'll just make this, or like I don't really know what exactly I need to make, so I'll just make this. You know, I really like to have a plan and a purpose with everything that I'm making, and using my Excel sheet is how I do it. It just gives me the big picture and where exactly I need to focus on. So that's everything that I've been making, and now you might be wondering, Olivia, how in the world did you make almost 200 items? Listen, I can barely tell you myself how that happened. I have no idea how my hands aren't like falling off or anything like that from having made like 200 items. I only went for my July market, I went in there with, I think it was 99 items exactly. I only sold like 19 items after that, so that was about 70. So okay, so I guess I have made 100 items in like the past 2 months. I don't I am very shocked at that number myself. It really doesn't feel like I've made 100 items. Yeah, no, it's crazy. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead, market prep a faux fur scrunchie with you and share with you kind of my strategy of how I've got my inventory up to those numbers. It is shocking. I can't even believe it myself. It really just doesn't feel like I've spent that much time doing it. I'll put the pattern for these scrunchies that I'm making. They're really easy. You just put double crochets around the actual hair tie. That's it. Okay, so let's go ahead and chat a little bit about how in the world did I make those 200 items. Like I said, it's really crazy even for me to think that I made that many items in that amount of time. But the thing is, okay, so after my market in July, I was very, very excited to do another market. I think that when you do a market and it actually goes pretty well, you just get this like, oh my gosh, like I want to keep doing markets. I just love markets. I want to do them all the time. I want to devote all my time to making market prep inventory, because you do, like when you're selling at markets, you do get that kind of immediate gratification of when someone buys something, you know, you get the money and then your brain is all like, oh my gosh, success, victory, yay. And it just makes you feel really good and you want to keep doing it, which is really great. I think that really helps with motivation for prepping for markets, because it does take a long time to prep for markets. And that's how I felt in July. So I was kind of going market prep happy with that. I was just making stuff all the time. And I'm in a stage of life right now where I don't have that many responsibilities. At that time, I had a part-time job. So I had a part-time job in July and in August. So I would spend my morning crocheting, doing big dream crochet stuff, and that was from like 9 to 12 ish that I would work on that stuff. So I did like 3 hours of either like prepping market inventory or market inventory and doing other big gym crochet things like making some Instagram content or pattern writing, that kind of thing. And then I would go to work for 4 hours, and then I would come back home, have dinner, relax, and then continue market prepping for like another 2 or 3 hours. So pretty much in July and August, I was crocheting for like 5 to 6 hours a day. And that really helps me get my market inventory up because, you know, especially when you're making projects that are very quick projects. Are you coming back? When you crochet for 5 hours a day, making really quick projects like, you know, really small amigurumi or, you know, repetitive projects like beanies or something like that, you get a lot done, you know, because the projects only take about like 30 minutes to an hour. If you're working for 5 hours, that's like 5 to 10 items every single day. That's what I was doing every single day. Monday through Friday, that was my schedule. And sometimes on Saturday, I would do even more. I try not to crochet or do anything that much on Sunday because that is just my Sabbath, my day of rest. I try not to, you know, do all that much unless it is for enjoyment and rest. Yeah, so that's what I was doing every day. So I was crocheting for probably like 30 to 40 hours a week. Now, it did wonders for my market inventory because, you know, I had so many items, but creatively, I think that was not a good idea for me to do. I'm very much, well, you know, when you spend so much time creating and creating for other people, making market inventory, I feel like you can definitely lose some of your creative steam and crochet motivation, your crojo, as you might say. And that's kind of what happened to me from crocheting for like 5 or 6 hours a day. And that caused other problems in the other aspects of running Big Gym Crochet. You know, originally I started out as, you know, a pattern designer, someone who shared my own designs and things like that on the internet. I still do that, of course, not as much as I used to because I kind of went crazy with that in the first year, releasing 10 patterns. Can you tell there's a pattern here? When I find something that I really like doing, I go all in because, you know, I enjoy doing it. I want to do it all the time. I know that I could be great at it. But, you know, in the long term, I think that actually leads to burnout. And do I recommend working on market inventory for like 5 to 6 hours a day? Probably not. I don't recommend that. Maybe if you are a crocheter who only does markets or like is main part of the business is at markets, maybe that is what your schedule is like. Yeah, so that has been my market prep strategy for the past like 2 months, and then I realized I was like, I don't want to be burned out. But now moving forward, I definitely am going to do a balance. I'm only gonna crochet for 2, maybe 3 hours every day making market prep. I think that is still enough. There, you know, still a good rate at which I could still grow my inventory, and especially with the projects I'm making now, like scrunchies and then the knitting machine beanies. Those projects are super fast, so I know if I crochet for only a couple hours a day, I could still knock out a lot of inventory. And also, you know, nurture the other parts of my passion for crochet, like designing and pattern writing and, you know, making items for my wardrobe and sharing them online, making good online content, things like that. So yeah, there's definitely a balance. I think if you're, you know, prepping for markets, definitely make sure that you balance out, you know, the fun things about your passion that you originally, you know, that originally got you to be passionate about crochet, but also, you know, the responsibility of making market prep, things like that. Just make sure that there is balance and harmony, and that at the end of the day, you actually genuinely like what you're doing and you want to keep doing it. I think that's the most important lesson I learned with my crochet strategy, with my market prep strategy. And yeah, that kind of is, you know, influencing how I'm going to go about market prepping in the future. So I'm just about done with the scrunchie. See how fast this took? I've only been talking for like 5 minutes, and yeah. Okay, well, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope that maybe you got a better idea of how you want to market prep in the future, or maybe what items that you're gonna market prep for your upcoming market. Hey, if you have a fall market or some kind of market coming up, definitely share in the comments. How are you feeling about it? Are you excited? Nervous? Is it your first market, or have you done any more? And are there any special items that you made specifically for that market, kind of like I did with, you know, the pumpkins and chickens and ghosts and things like that for my October fall market? I feel like I have faux fur on my face now. But yeah, go ahead, share that in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe to my YouTube channel if you want to see more content, specifically market content too. With my market coming up, I will have a what I made for my market, and you know, how much I made, or my market experience, that kind of thing. I will have those videos up, as well as other patterns and tutorials, things like that. It's just crochet content and inspiration in general. Yes, don't forget, like and subscribe for those things, and also follow me on Instagram too if you want to see more of like behind the scenes, day-to-day things. I post on there fairly often, at least once a day, to chat with you, and you just get a little bit more behind the scenes of what I'm doing. But yes, thank you so much for watching. If you've made it this far, I hope the video has not been too long, or at least that you found it helpful. But I'll see you in my next video, but I hope you have a great rest of your week.